Dr. Elias Trent had always believed that curiosity was humanity's greatest strength. Ever since he was a child, he would stare at the night sky, wondering what life might exist beyond Earth. Now, years later, his lifelong fascination had led him to the edge of a newly discovered star system. The planet he had chosen to study was nothing like Earth. Its sky shimmered with faint green auroras, and the ground beneath his boots glimmered as if dusted with millions of tiny stars. The air, although breathable, carried a strange sweetness that made him feel both awake and calm at the same time. Elias had been exploring the outer planes for several hours, scanning plant samples and documenting the strange patterns of growth when he noticed something unusual. A faint pulse of light flickered from a ridge nearby. At first, he thought it was a natural phenomenon, a crystal reflecting the sunlight. But as he approached, he saw that the source was not a plant or mineral. It was a being hovering just above the ground, trapped within a translucent energy field. The creature was unlike anything Elias had ever seen. It had a delicate, elongated body with wings that seemed to glow faintly in the green light. Its eyes were large and expressive, shimmering with intelligence. Even though he could not understand its language yet, Elias sensed its confusion and perhaps a hint of fear. He knew he had to help. "Hello," Elias said gently, raising his hands to show he meant no harm. "I think I can help you." The being tilted its head and emitted a series of soft hums. The energy field surrounding it flickered as if responding to his voice. Elias examined the field's structure and quickly realized that it was not a natural phenomenon. It appeared to be some kind of containment device, not strong enough to harm, but certainly preventing the being from moving freely. Elias' mind raced. He had no idea what this creature was, but his instinct to help was stronger than his fear of the unknown. Carefully, he activated a portable scanner he always carried, analyzing the field's energy pattern. After a few tense moments, he found a way to disrupt the field without causing any harm. The moment he did, the being floated free and hovered in front of him, its wings folding in a graceful motion. Elias took a step back, amazed at the sight. "Are you okay?" he asked. The being tilted its head again and then, to Elias' astonishment, spoke in a melodic voice. "You helped me?" Elias blinked. He had expected gestures or some form of alien communication, not words in a language he could somewhat understand. "Yes, I saw you trapped. I wanted to help. I am Elias Trent, human from Earth." The being regarded him with what seemed like curiosity. "I am Lyra, Queen Lyra of the Luminara." Elias almost laughed in surprise. A queen. He had expected explorers or scientists, not royalty. Yet there was something in her voice that commanded attention without being harsh or demanding. She was regal, but there was also a hint of vulnerability, a quality that humans could sense instinctively. I didn't know," Elias said, feeling slightly embarrassed. "I just wanted to help." Lyra's eyes seemed to soften. "That is unusual for visitors. Many approach with caution or fear. You approached with trust." Elias smiled. "Trust is important. Sometimes helping is the best way to learn." Lyra floated closer, her glow illuminating the soft green plains around them. "I have been observing your kind. Humans are curious, bold, yet gentle. Most would not offer help without expectation." Elias felt a warmth in his chest. Here was a being from another world, possibly more advanced than him in technology and understanding, and yet she recognized a value in humans that often went unnoticed. "I think every species has something special," he said. "Sometimes it's strength, sometimes intelligence, and sometimes it's kindness." Lyra's wings shimmered in the faint light. "Kindness, I see. Perhaps that is why I trust you." For a long moment, they simply observed each other. Elias studied the delicate features of Lyra, noting how her body moved with an elegance that seemed almost like dance. He wondered how many beings in the galaxy had seen her in this vulnerable state and had not offered help. Probably very few. And yet here he was, a human acting instinctively without thought of reward. "I must know," Elias said, curiosity bubbling up again. "What happened to you? How did you get trapped?" Lyra's glow flickered, a sign of hesitation. Finally, she spoke. "An experiment, a mistake in my energy manipulations. My advisors feared the outcome. I wished to see the world beyond my palace. I did not expect this." Elias nodded. "Curiosity can be dangerous, but it is also how we learn." Lyra's eyes brightened. "You understand." "Many do not." The human and the alien queen began walking together, Elias carefully matching her hovering pace. He pointed out various plants and rocks, explaining their unique properties. Lyra listened, fascinated by the simplicity of human observation and the enthusiasm with which Elias described even the smallest details. "You enjoy learning," she observed. "I do," Elias admitted. "I think learning is a gift. It allows us to grow, to understand, and to connect with others." Lyra paused, hovering near a patch of crystal-like plants that emitted soft tones when touched. She reached out, and the crystals responded to her touch, producing a harmonious sound. "Your kind, simple tools you touch and feel. We rely on complex technology. Perhaps we have forgotten the joy of simplicity." Elias laughed softly. "Maybe, or maybe it's just that humans notice things differently. We find patterns in small things because we pay attention. Curiosity isn't always about grand discoveries." Lyra considered this as they continued walking. For hours, they explored the plains, sharing thoughts and observations. Elias realized that despite her royal status, Lyra had a humility that made her approachable. She was intelligent, curious, and willing to listen, qualities that resonated deeply with him. As the day faded and the twin suns of the planet dipped below the horizon, Elias and Lyra reached a plateau overlooking a vast valley. The sky was ablaze with shifting colors, and the valley below sparkled with bioluminescent flora. Lyra paused, her wings glowing brighter. "This world," she said softly, "is more beautiful than I imagined." Elias smiled. "It is. But it's even better when shared with someone else." Lyra's eyes glimmered. "Perhaps humans are worth observing after all," Elias chuckled. "I think your species is fascinating too, and now we both learn." That night, Elias set up camp under the glowing sky. Lyra hovered nearby, curious about his simple human tools: a tent, a fire for warmth, a small food synthesizer. She asked questions, each one revealing her fascination with the human approach to life: practical, adaptable, and surprisingly clever. "You use simple things to survive," she said. "Yet your mind's great, clever, resourceful." Elias nodded. "We have to be. Earth isn't always kind, but humans find ways to adapt and help each other." Lyra considered this, her glow softening to a calming hue. "Perhaps your species has wisdom beyond wealth and power. Perhaps that is why you helped me." Elias felt a sense of quiet pride, not in himself, but in humanity. Here was proof that compassion, curiosity, and cleverness were universal strengths. The galaxy might be vast and filled with wonders beyond imagination, but humans had something truly special to offer: the willingness to act with care, even when nothing is demanded in return. As the night deepened, Elias and Lyra sat together under the shimmering sky. Words flowed easily between them, a bridge between two species that might otherwise never have met. Elias knew this encounter was more than chance. It was the beginning of something extraordinary, a bond that could change the way humans and other beings viewed one another. And in that quiet moment under alien stars, a human offered help and unknowingly touched the life of a queen, the richest being in the galaxy, simply because he saw a fellow being in need. The next morning, Elias awoke to a soft glow filling the valley. Lyra was hovering nearby, her wings reflecting the twin suns' early light. He rubbed his eyes, still amazed that he was sharing this world with a being so unlike anyone he had ever met. And yet, there was something familiar in her curiosity, something almost human. "Good morning," Elias said, stretching. "Did you sleep well?" Lyra tilted her head, the glow of her wings softening to a pale blue. "I observed the sky. It changed in ways I had not noticed." Elias smiled. "That's one of the best parts of mornings. You notice small things you miss during the day. Colors shift, the air smells different, shadows move differently, everything feels alive." Lyra's eyes shimmered with interest. "Alive, yes, your words capture it well." They began walking together again, exploring the plateau and the nearby cliffs. As they moved, Elias noticed that Lyra seemed fascinated by the simplest things: the way a small crystal reflected sunlight, how the wind made the tall grasses bend in waves, how tiny insects scuttled over glowing plants. He explained each detail patiently, showing her how humans observed patterns in nature and found meaning even in small details. "You notice much," Lyra said thoughtfully. "Your mind finds connections I did not consider." Elias chuckled. "We have to. Earth is full of surprises. Humans adapt by seeing patterns, by learning from what we observe, and by helping each other when things get difficult. Lyra paused and looked at him with a faint smile. Perhaps that is why you helped me, not for reward but instinct. Exactly, Elias replied. Sometimes the best action is simply to do what you can without expecting anything back. As the day progressed, Elias began to realize that Lyra was far more than just a visitor. Her questions, her observations, and even her gestures suggested a depth of experience that went beyond simple curiosity. She seemed to understand complex systems, yet she found wonder in things he considered ordinary. It was a rare combination, and Elias found himself drawn to it. "Do you have advisors?" Elias asked carefully. "People who guide you?" Lyra's glow flickered slightly. "Yes, many. They manage my palace, my people, my resources. They plan for many possibilities." Elias nodded. "It must be hard to manage so much." Lyra hovered closer. "It is, but also necessary. My position requires awareness of what others may overlook, yet I rarely meet those who act without expectation." Elias smiled softly. "That's why I offered help. I don't know your world, I don't know your expectations, but I saw someone in need. That's enough." Lyra's glow brightened. "Your simplicity is remarkable. Perhaps humans have qualities we lack." Curiosity sparked between them as they continued walking. Elias soon noticed faint structures in the distance, towers that reflected the sunlight arranged in intricate patterns. "What are those?" he asked. Lyra's wings flickered, a subtle sign of her excitement. "My palace, you will see soon." Elias felt a surge of anticipation. He had assumed that Lyra, being trapped in the energy field the day before, was perhaps a wandering explorer or a scientist. He had not expected royalty, and now the mention of a palace suggested wealth and influence beyond imagination. He wondered what it would be like to see it firsthand. When they finally reached the edge of a cliff overlooking the palace, Elias froze. The structure stretched across the horizon, a breathtaking combination of crystal towers, bridges of light, and floating platforms. The palace emitted a faint hum, as if alive, and shimmered with energy patterns that Elias could only describe as magical. "It is beautiful," he whispered. Lyra hovered beside him, her glow matching the reflection of the towers. "Thank you." "It represents centuries of work, careful planning, and trust in those who serve." Elias studied the palace. Despite its grandeur, there was a harmony to it, a balance between technology and nature, structure and freedom. He could sense the effort, intelligence, and care that had gone into creating it. "You designed all this?" he asked, awe in his voice. Lyra's wings flickered almost shyly. "I oversaw it. Advisors contributed much. Yet the vision was mine." "I wished for beauty and function together." Elias nodded slowly. "It's incredible. I can see why your people respect you." Lyra's glow softened. "Respect, yes, but understanding rarer. Few know why I make choices without fear or greed." Elias' mind raced. Here was a being, wealthy beyond comprehension, yet her true value was in her vision, her humility, and her desire to act responsibly. He felt honored that she had shared her world with him, a human stranger. As they descended toward the palace, Lyra explained the various features. Some towers stored energy harvested from the twin suns, others acted as research centers where her people studied the galaxy, and some platforms housed gardens with plants from hundreds of worlds. Elias listened, fascinated by the complexity, yet he noticed how she explained everything with patience, never assuming he would not understand. "You are a fast learner," Lyra observed. "Many visitors would be overwhelmed." "I try to understand," Elias replied. "I think learning is better when you ask questions and explore rather than just observe from a distance." Lyra smiled faintly. "Your kind asks many questions. You seek a connection, not control. That is rare." They entered a vast hall where light shifted in colors Elias had no names for. He noticed the presence of advisors, beings of different species, all moving with purpose and focus. Yet when Lyra introduced him, there was a pause. The advisors had not expected a human to arrive in such a position. Some whispered, others studied him with cautious interest, but Lyra's calm presence set the tone. "This is Elias Trent," she announced. "He helped me when I needed it. His knowledge and curiosity are remarkable." Elias felt a mixture of pride and humility. Here he was, a simple human recognized in a world of advanced civilizations, not for wealth or power, but for his character and his willingness to help. As they moved through the palace, Lyra explained her wealth. not in coins or jewels, but in knowledge, energy resources, and influence across the galaxy. Elias listened in awe. She commanded fleets that could explore uncharted systems, controlled energy networks that powered hundreds of planets, and yet she had chosen to spend time with him, a single human. You could offer much, Lyra said, but you offer nothing, and that makes you trustworthy. Elias laughed softly. I guess that's my superpower, curiosity and kindness. Lyra's glow brightened as if amused. Perhaps humans are more valuable than we thought. For hours, Elias explored the palace under Lyra's guidance. He learned how her advisors worked, how resources were allocated, and how decisions were made for the well-being of her people. He asked questions, sometimes simple, sometimes complex, and each time Lyra answered patiently. He realized that even in this vast, advanced civilization, the human mind brought a perspective that was fresh, intuitive, and clever. You have ideas we did not consider, Lyra said thoughtfully. Your perspective is unique. Elias smiled. Humans often see solutions in ways others overlook. Sometimes we rely on intuition or observation, not just technology or data. Lyra's wings shimmered with excitement. Yes, that is why I enjoy your presence. You remind me that there is value beyond wealth, beyond power. As the twin suns began to set, casting long shadows over the crystalline towers, Elias and Lyra paused on a balcony overlooking the valley. The sky glowed with colors that shifted and shimmered, reflecting the beauty of this alien world. You have shown much today, Lyra said. Perhaps humans are ready to play a larger role in the galaxy. Elias felt a mixture of humility and pride. He had come seeking knowledge, curiosity guiding him, and he had found something extraordinary. Trust, respect, and the realization that humanity's unique qualities, kindness, curiosity, and adaptability, could be valued even in the most advanced civilizations. Lyra turned to him, wings glowing softly. You helped a queen not knowing her wealth, yet that act reveals the worth of your kind. Elias smiled. I never expected reward, I just wanted to help, but I'm glad if it has meaning. Lyra's glow pulsed gently. It has more meaning than you imagine. Perhaps this is only the beginning. And so, as the night settled over the crystalline palace, Elias realized that he was no longer just a visitor. He was a participant in something much larger, a bond between humans and a civilization whose wealth and knowledge spanned the galaxy. All because he had offered help simply, freely, and without expectation. In the quiet hum of the palace, under alien stars, he understood that sometimes the smallest acts of kindness could unlock doors to worlds beyond imagination. And humanity, with its curiosity and heart, had just begun to leave its mark on the galaxy. The following morning, Elias awoke to a soft hum that seemed to resonate through the palace itself. Lyra was already hovering near the balcony, her glow reflecting the rising twin suns. She looked calm, yet there was a subtle tension in the air. Elias sensed that something important was about to unfold. Good morning, Elias, Lyra said, her voice melodic and steady. There is a matter that requires your perspective. Elias rubbed his eyes, curiosity stirring within him. What kind of matter? He asked, intrigued. Lyra gestured toward a distant field where delicate patterns of energy rippled across the land. A cosmic anomaly is approaching our system. It shifts energy flows, affects planets, and may disrupt life if not understood. Elias' mind raced. He had studied anomalies before, but nothing on this scale. Can it be stopped? He asked, trying to keep his voice steady. Lyra's glow pulsed softly. Perhaps with knowledge and creativity. Many of my advisors suggest conventional methods, but I sense your approach may offer something new. Elias felt a surge of excitement. This was not just an opportunity to learn, it was a chance to contribute in a meaningful way. Tell me what you've observed, he said, following her through the palace corridors. As they moved through the halls, Lyra explained how the anomaly disrupted energy grids, affected planetary rotation slightly, and created unpredictable fluctuations in local weather patterns. Elias listened carefully, taking mental notes. Then he began asking questions, small ones, simple ones, yet each led to insights that Lyra had not considered. You ask differently, Lyra observed. Not through fear or protocol, but curiosity and understanding. Elias smiled. That's how humans solve problems. We look at the situation, ask questions, and try to connect pieces that others may overlook. Sometimes the simplest ideas are the most effective. They reached a chamber where Lyra projected a three-dimensional map of the anomaly. It moved like a living entity, shifting and pulsating in ways that made Elias both nervous and fascinated. He studied it carefully, noting patterns and inconsistencies that had gone unnoticed. "I think," he began slowly, "if we can stabilize certain energy flows at precise intervals, we can guide the anomaly harmlessly past the planets. We need to redirect some of your energy nodes to create a temporary channel." Lyra's wings flickered with surprise. "Redirect our energy nodes? It is risky." Elias nodded. "Yes, but with careful calculation and constant observation it can work. We don't need to destroy it or fight it, just guide it. That's the human way, solve without conflict." Lyra considered this, her glow shifting as she weighed his suggestion. "I admire your approach. It values life and intelligence over brute force." Together, they devised a plan. Lyra assigned her most trusted advisors to assist Elias, following his instructions step by step. Though the palace was filled with beings far more technologically advanced than humans, Elias' unique perspective proved invaluable. He noticed patterns in the energy flows, small fluctuations that others had dismissed, and suggested adjustments that made the system more efficient. Hours passed, the twin suns moved across the sky, and Elias and Lyra worked tirelessly. He marveled at how advanced her civilization was, yet he also realized that human intuition could complement even the most sophisticated technology. His ideas, simple yet practical, began to take shape in the palace's energy network. "You humans think differently," Lyra said softly during a brief pause. "Not faster or stronger, but in ways that consider all possibilities." Elias smiled, feeling a warmth of pride. "Sometimes it's just about noticing what others overlook. That's all humans are good at, observing, learning, and adapting." By late afternoon, the anomaly was approaching the system. Elias and Lyra stood side by side, watching the energy patterns shift and flow as the redirection began. The anomaly moved unpredictably, but every adjustment they made guided it gently past the planets. It was a delicate dance, one that required patience, observation, and trust. "You led this well," Lyra said quietly, her wings glowing brightly. "Your insight saved worlds not with force, but with understanding." Elias shook his head modestly. "We didn't do it alone. You trusted me, and your people followed my observations. That's what made it possible." Lyra's eyes shimmered. "Trust is rare in the galaxy. You earned it not by wealth, not by rank, but by character." As the anomaly finally passed the outer planets, dissipating harmlessly into space, the palace erupted in quiet celebration. Not loud cheers, but a collective sense of relief and admiration for the human who had contributed so much. Elias watched the energy nodes settle back into their normal state, amazed at how calm and harmonious the system now appeared. "You humans may be underestimated," Lyra said softly, her glow reflecting pride. "Yet you solve problems beyond expectation." Elias felt humbled. "It's just who we are, curiosity, care, and persistence. That's what guides us." Lyra paused, considering his words. "Your species has something rare, not strength, not power, but adaptability, empathy, and creativity. These qualities can shape the galaxy." Elias smiled, realizing that his simple human traits often overlooked on Earth, had made a difference on an interstellar scale. "I never thought humans could have this much impact, but I guess kindness and curiosity travel far." The days that followed were filled with mutual learning. Lyra shared more about her civilization, the challenges of managing multiple planets, and the philosophies behind her decisions. Elias, in turn, shared human ideas, problem-solving methods, and stories of life on Earth. Though their worlds were vastly different, they found common ground in curiosity, creativity, and the desire to make a positive difference. "You see value in all life," Lyra said one evening as they watched the twin suns set. "Even a human without wealth, without influence, can change outcomes with thought and action." Elias nodded. "That's what we try to do. Every action matters, no matter how small, and sometimes it's the simple, kind choice that matters most." Lyra's glow brightened, reflecting a soft golden hue. "Your perspective has reminded me that wisdom comes in many forms, not only from power but from understanding and empathy." Elias felt a profound sense of fulfillment. He had come to this planet as a curious observer, a human seeking knowledge, and he was leaving as someone who had contributed to a civilization far beyond his own. More importantly, he had formed a bond with a being whose wealth and power spanned the galaxy, yet who valued human qualities above all else. "You offered help," Lyra said softly, almost as if speaking to herself, "not knowing I was the richest in the galaxy." Yet that act changed everything, Elia smiled. Sometimes the smallest acts have the biggest impact. Lyra's wings shimmered as she hovered closer. "I wish humans to know their worth. You possess qualities that cannot be bought or measured. And I am grateful you shared them with me." Elias felt a warmth in his chest. He realized that wealth, influence, and technology were impressive, but they did not define value. Character, curiosity, and the willingness to help without expectation were far more powerful, capable of creating bonds that spanned the galaxy. In the days that followed, Elias helped Lyra and her advisors implement improvements to the planetary systems, using human problem-solving approaches combined with Luminara technology. Together, they refined energy grids, enhanced resource distribution, and created plans to explore neighboring star systems safely. Each success reinforced the lesson that humans, though young in interstellar terms, could contribute meaningfully to advanced civilizations. One evening, as they stood on a balcony overlooking the valley, Elias turned to Lyra. "I never imagined that helping someone could lead to this. It's beyond anything I expected." Lyra smiled, her glow soft and steady. "You showed that humility and curiosity are gifts. And humans are more capable than many realize. You reminded me that even the simplest actions can shape the future." Elias looked at the twin suns dipping below the horizon, painting the crystalline towers with brilliant colors. "I guess that's the human way. We learn, we adapt, we care, and sometimes we just act because it's the right thing to do." Lyra's wings pulsed gently. "Yes, and sometimes that is enough to change the galaxy." As night fell, the palace shimmered under alien stars. Elias knew he had witnessed something extraordinary, a civilization beyond imagination, and the realization that humanity's true power lay not in machines, weapons, or wealth, but in curiosity, empathy, and cleverness. He had offered help, simple and free, and in doing so had bridged worlds, formed an interstellar friendship, and reminded a queen, and perhaps the galaxy, that humans had a unique role to play. And in that quiet, shimmering palace, under the endless stars, he felt the truth of it. Sometimes, the smallest act of kindness could resonate farther than any treasure, influence, or technology ever could. Elias Trent, a human from Earth, had proven that even one person, guided by curiosity and heart, could leave a lasting mark on the galaxy. And that mark, unlike wealth, was timeless.